Okay, hello, hi, how's everyone doing today? And welcome to another episode of Bumper to Bumper. I am your host, Chris Candy. We're back again, live from the Vortex. I'm calling today, talking to y'all. I'm in Santa Monica, California, right next to the dump, literally by the dump, and Bergamot Art Station, where they got all kinds of art going on. I'm excited today because I'm on the west side and I'm picking up my good friend, James Rickman. James is a very, very talented musician. He has now parlayed himself into a editor of sorts. He works for a little magazine. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's called Playboy Magazine. Really excited to have him on, but I don't care about the Playboy stuff. I'm more interested in all of his stories being in Slow Gherkin. I grew up listening to his band. I used to see him play the Troubadour. They're a really popular ska band from the Santa Cruz area. It's gonna get nerdy. Rick is screwed. Rick's screwed today. It's gonna be a lot of me and James. But that is what I'm talking about right now because I just don't want to say neither here nor there. Everything's going good, but we should call Rick up now, get this podcast going, because I need him. All right, I'm calling him up right now. Here we go. Dialing him up.
Hello, Chris Candy.
Hey, Rick Darge, how are you?
I'm doing great. Doing
That's great.
Wonderful.
That's
How
great.
are you?
I'm good, man. I am good. I'm just, I'm driving. I'm in Santa Monica right now. I'm going to get James.
James. What's James's full name?
James Rickman.
James. That's funny because I'm Rick and I am a man.
What? What? Yeah. Wow. Hold on. I got to make sure I make the right. I'm going to his place or his. I don't know what place I'm going to pick him up at actually right now. I know he lives in Venice, but I'm not going to Venice right now. How are you doing, Rick? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Right now I'm cruising through my neighborhood because I haven't really explored Mount Washington, and I'm going through the narrow streets right now and just trying to get a lay of the land.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go pick up some espresso beans today.
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
I sound like a real piece of shit.
Yeah, you do. You sound like a very privileged man.
I'm cruising
just driving around my new
cruising
neighborhood.
through the hills.
Yeah.
And I need to go get some espresso beans.
I got a question for you. Is it espresso or espresso?
It's espresso. There's no X in espresso.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious. You don't need to be so mean.
I mean,
hear people
espresso?
Haven't you heard some people call it espresso? Oh, an espresso.
Those people, the people that call it espresso are idiots, Chris. They're idiots. No. It's espresso! Espresso! Hey, whenever you see orange cones, do you ever get compelled to just steal them? Because I do.
No, never. I've never thought to steal them.
Should I steal one right now? There's one, I just saw one.
Yeah, steal it.
Don't
do it. Don't do it. I don't want to be an accomplice.
Yeah, it's daylight. I'll come back and I'll steal it in the nighttime.
What? Well, okay, here's my first question for you. Why do you need some...
To steal?
Why do you need to steal? Why do you need...
It gives me a thrill. Where am I going here? I don't know. I was just trying to I was trying to punch up the podcast and give someone to, give them some entertainment.
They get they get plenty of entertainment, all right? It's you and me and interesting guests driving in our cars. This thing is pure entertainment, all right? You don't have to get worried about it not being enough entertainment. You don't have to add theft into it, but if you did steal, it would be a little interesting.
Right? Maybe I should go back. Oh, shit, here comes a car. These streets are very narrow.
No, you know what it is?
Very narrow.
What if on one of the bumper to bumpers, we pick the person up and they're like, yeah, I got one errand, just go run it. And then they go into a bank and rob it. All right, keep going.
They rob the bank? That's kind of funny. What if we pick up, I think we should expand bumper to bumper into picking up, hitchhikers. And then one of them could stab one of us, and that'll be really great for the podcast. That'll increase our numbers.
Do you think we'll get a Webby?
I think we'll finally get a few more subscribers. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
I'm not saying it. I said it briefly. I said neither here nor there.
Your
You there?
favorite catchphrase. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, you cut out a little
God.
bit, but
I'm at a dead
Have you
end
ever
right now. I
noticed-
gotta turn around.
have you ever noticed?
I
what?
just found a cone. There's another cone. I wonder if I should take this one.
What, you're just gonna put it in the back seat? Real smart,
Yeah.
Rick. It's documented that you're stealing it. So when they go looking around
What?
for it, and then someone's Nest camera, whose house has got a Nest, they're zoomed in
No,
saying,
there's-
"Hey, who took my cone?"
Oh, you're right.
And that
There's no whatever. Fuck it. I'm not gonna get that cone.
We live in a police state, okay? It's like cameras everywhere. You don't want to
We
get.
do. I was watching this director that I used to work with, a colleague of mine. She posted a video, and this is a very straight-laced, run-of-the-mill, pays her taxes kind of lady.
Yeah.
And she posted a video where it was like a dozen different scientists, pilots, military guys were testifying before a town hall about chemtrails.
You sent me this video last night.
Yeah, baby.
Was this the one you sent me last night? I'm
did.
starting to believe. I'm starting to believe.
I mean, come on, it's weird.
It's weird.
You know what's crazy about it is you can't really talk about it because everyone just labels you as some psychopath. I'm just questioning what's going on because I don't know, it's odd, right? It's weird.
Yeah. You know what's funny is we're talking about it, we're getting more jarbled. I was going to bring that up, like how when you're talking to someone and then you have like a really important point to make, or you're about to have like a very strong assumption about something, and then the phone cuts off. You get like a drop call. You ever had that happen?
Chris, you there?
Like right now, when I just did it and I can't hear you. The phone call, it just dropped. The call just dropped right now. I cannot believe this. This is incredible. I got to call Rick back because this just happened. What I was just talking about, everybody, just happened. I'm looking right in the eye of the camera. I can't even get him. I can't even get Rick. Calling him back right now. We got him. Wow.
I'm in the Truman Show right now. Let me call him up.
It documented on a
can't
podcast.
even get a hold of him. This is
a
messed
helicopter.
up. You can't
black
do a
helicopter
podcast
come pick me up.
with
When
just
did this
one
turn into a
person.
conspiracy theory podcast?
Because that's what we're doing right now.
When did it? I do
He's
not
probably
know. I
talking
wonder what
about
Rick's
something.
talking about on
here
his
he
side.
goes. Yeah, I find it a little weird that the moment we talk about conspiracy chemtrails, the phone gets cut out.
I was saying the same thing. I was saying how when you have these thoughts, like where you're going to say something very strong or very, like a strong assumption, the phone drops, the call drops.
Isn't that weird? Whoa. I just drove by a sign that someone put up on the outside of their gate that said creepy. I like that word. It's creepy, Chris.
It is very creepy.
Creepy Chris. Anyone ever call you Creepy Chris?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, I've been called anything that goes with Chris. Creepy Chris.
Creepy Chris.
People
used to call me Dirty Darge.
Dirty Darge and Creepy Chris.
Dirty Darge. Dirty Darge.
Creepy Chris. What were my nicknames? Well, I misspelt my name on some kid's cast, so my nickname was Chiss when I was in grade school.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Did I say it on the podcast? They never let go.
I think you did talk about it on the podcast. Maybe it wasn't a dream. I don't know. Yeah,
it's
Chiss.
It's devastating. Devastation.
Yeah, you got those kids, man. The kids are
they're
terrible.
Brutal. Terrible.
So if kids are terrible, that means adults are terrible, which means
adults
humans are terrible.
Now I'm getting close to James. I'm actually, I know the street that very well. My friend Alex Quick used to live in this house over here. I spent many times actually on this block. Go ahead. Well, over on this store here is where I spent 2000. When the year it turned 2000. These are really boring stories, but this street means a little bit to me. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
You always say people's full names. Like you're like Jimmy Sakamano is I used to play drums with Jimmy Sakamano, and then you'll say Henry Ford. I don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about? So there's some people who have really strong full names, like I'm hanging out with Rick Darge.
Yeah.
But
Chris Candy.
Fletcher, for example, I just say Fletcher because that's a strong first name.
Fletcher Alliston. Yeah, his last name is Alliston. It's like Allison.
It's
Fletcher
like
Allison.
So you say Fletcher.
Yeah.
Chris Shalakis.
Chris
It's like,
Shalakis.
but a lot of people, I say Rick Darge, hanging out with my friend Dan Pappas. Going to get James
Dan
Rickman.
Pappas.
We're getting close. We're getting very close. I'm gonna.
Nice. I don't know anything about this guy. I know that he was in a band called Snurkle Flurkle.
No.
What's the name of his band?
Slow Gherkin. Slow Gherkin.
Okay, and that was he's still in this band.
Yeah, they still
right?
play. I just played with them. I played with them recently, actually. When I was playing with Mike and the Bruce Lee band.
Do they have any music videos?
Yeah, they have a ton.
Maybe we could play like a little music video clip, like a 15-second clip
definitely.
for the audience.
We'll definitely. I'm going to text them right now because we're here. I'm here.
You text him. He also is an editor for Playboy. I'm sure you already told the audience that.
I did.
So I want to get into that. I went to the Playboy Mansion once, and it was very underwhelming. It felt like I was on a ride at Disney theme park. Like it was weird.
Really? I never went to the mansion.
You think of the grotto, you think of like a cave, a natural cave that was built by man, a natural man-made cave. And you get there, and it's like there's like a whole back like alleyway, like place for staff to go in and out that separates the grotto from the outside. And I don't know. It's just, I guess, I don't know.
So you didn't have a good time? Is that what you're trying to tell everybody in podcast land?
No, I did a job. I wasn't there, I wasn't invited to party. I was there working. I was shooting a Playboy model in slow motion on a trampoline, which was quite fun. You know why, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can you picture it?
Yeah, oh, there he is. I went to the wrong house, maybe?
Wait, what's his name again? Oh, my God.
Oh,
Matt? Rickman.
Oh, no. You're in trouble. James Rickman.
James Rickman. Okay, cool. He's going to listen to this and realize I'm a dumbass. James Rickman. It's like Alan Rickman. Is he related to Alan Rickman?
No, he's not related to Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
But I don't...
Too bad.
Yeah. Oh, he's coming, and he's got his dog with him, everybody. So we got a dog coming on the journey.
I can't wait. I don't know what this dog looks like, but I'm sure it looks great. Big fan of dogs.
Hey, whoa! Whoa, the dog just rolled right in.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Hello.
This is Coupon.
Hey,
Hello.
Coupon, how are you? Oh, this is going to be the best.
Coupon.
Yeah.
Coupon's your dog? All right, here's this for you. Just buckle up
Coupon.
first. Safety first.
Nice. Safety first.
All right, there's
My favorite
this.
part of the podcast.
And then here's this. It's been cleaned.
Oh, okay.
So you put that in your left ear.
Very good.
And you can hear Rick over there.
Rick.
How
and
you
then
doing,
if you want to
James?
put these on too, you can hear yourself.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, yeah, just keep that mic then up near your mouth, and we're good to go. He turned down the headphones, Rick. He's a pro.
What's that?
He turned down the headphones. He's a professional.
Well, just make sure that mic is up in his grill.
Yeah,
we
it's
had
there.
some
Okay,
problems.
make love to the mic.
Nice.
He knows what he's doing. He's very well.
How you doing, James? How are you?
I'm all right, man. Have we met before?
I don't know if we've met, but we're meeting right now through the
We sure are.
podcast.
Where are you?
Thanks. I am in Mount Washington, Eagle Rock area. Just kind of cruising around. I'm going to go to Los Feliz and buy some espresso beans.
Ooh.
And I might get a burger. I don't know. I'm a little hungry.
Yeah, James.
But,
do you need to go anywhere, or do you need me to, or do you just want to go for a ride around town?
Right around town. I love it.
All right. Let's go for a ride.
Nice.
Well, I think we should go get maybe a coffee and a drive-through or something like that.
Yeah, that's what you guys. You guys
always.
should definitely do that.
Always coffee.
I know. Yeah, we're up for that. So yeah, no, I don't think the two of you have ever met before. But the connection is, at least with both of you, is I've done a lot of creative stuff with both of you guys.
Oh.
Be it playing music with some of your bands. James has he's known me for so long.
Chris, you're
That's
breaking
the
up like
good part
crazy.
about this podcast.
We're getting some weird connection issues going on right now with the old cell phones. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
probably having a hard one because you're over in Mount Washington.
No, I'm actually on the flatlands now. I'm in the flatlands, and it should be fine. I don't know what's going on.
That's some gunslinger shit right there.
It's probably all your chemtrail conversation. It's like now they've got a bug on us.
Yeah,
Shit.
we were talking about chemtrails because this friend of mine posted a video with all these doctors and scientists and ex-military pilots that were talking about how it's real and there's aluminum levels are on the rise. And I don't know. I love talking about this stuff in private. I don't like talking about it with anyone else because there's always laughter involved.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's really
I don't
good
know
to talk about it. It seems like it's really good to talk about it on a podcast because you seem like you're not talking to anybody, but like right now, just two other people. But in all
Yeah, just two other
actuality,
people. I mean,
anybody can listen to it.
Yeah.
I went through a period of time where, for a few months, where I was like kind of obsessed with chemtrails and what was happening in the
Okay.
sky.
Yeah.
And Chris, you remember this? I lost my mind
Yeah,
a little bit because there were like certain days, and I'm sure you guys are aware of this. There are certain days in LA where it's like there's
we go.
just hundreds of planes spitting out little white, exhaust fumes, and they're everywhere. And then there's other days like today, there's nothing going on. So I'm just confused. I'm very confused. I want to know what's happening with my air.
There's not.
Anyway.
I mean, I would counter. There's nothing going on with the information that there's an Almodovar festival apparently at the Aero Theater.
Oh, really?
I would watch the shit out of that. I love that guy.
Are you familiar with Almodovar, Rick?
No.
I'm not.
Tie
What is
Me
that?
Up, Tie Me Down.
Ki-
What's his most famous stuff? He's a Spanish, or his movies are usually set in Spain.
Oh,
Or I'm just
yeah, the
racist.
director. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
aware
yeah,
of him. What?
He does
What about?
great stuff.
What did he say?
Well, we
What-
just passed the Aero Theater, and it looks like they have a quadruple feature of Almodovar. And he's a big chemtrail guy. He's
Yeah.
holding it down.
Chris, why do you
in
keep
Spain.
laughing, Chris?
Why? Because it's funny, Rick. This is a funny
That's
podcast.
not funny. We could
Yeah.
be getting poisoned right now. There's nothing
No.
funny about that.
No, yeah, but Rick, we're getting poisoned all the time with the sugar and the food, and
Yeah. I don't want
Okay.
them spraying my face. That's cool. He's a big. It's a weird thing to talk about because I feel
Yeah.
like we've been conditioned as a society not to
Oh man, you're back.
not to
there.
raise any questions. We
Yeah,
don't
I
wanna-
know,
We can't,
I know.
We can't
But you're
talk too much about what's going on, but there's something going on. God damn it.
You're getting-
Anyway, let's get in.
You're getting back
You
in.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you.
James,
You're,
Yeah.
Let's. I want to talk about James. I want to get off chemtrails and onto. I want to get onto the band and how you formed. I'm gonna mess up the name again. You tell us.
No, I want to hear you say it.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Gherkin Firkin.
Cool. Wow.
Wow, very
Close.
close.
Close. The first word was correct.
The second
First word.
The first word. Okay, so the band is Slow Gherkin.
Yeah, let's just cut
Slow
to
Let's
that.
just cut
Gherkin.
to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when did you guys all start? Give us the whole history. Catch everyone up.
Okay.
and
yep.
yeah, please.
Okay. We started in 1993 with four guys. We were all in high school together. Our first bass player, Zach, came up with the name. I think he had a lot of time in his woodworking class, and he came up with a lot of names. And so for some reason, that was the keeper. And I just showed up to school one day, and there was a sticker of a frog on my locker that said, "Do you want to do the Slow Gherkin with me?" And Gherkin was spelled Gerken. And that was her name for a while. Eventually, we're like, guys, we have got to start spelling this name correctly. And it was an early rebrand for us.
Nice.
But yeah, I was 15. We were sort of 15 to 17 when we started. And really just played parties for a while. And then there's this bar in Santa Cruz called the Red Room. It's a great bar. And we started playing there like around the same age.
Whoa.
Just way underage, and there were these laws where, like, depending on who was paying attention that night, we would have to wait outside, go on stage, and then immediately leave again, which has kind of defined a lot of our first few years.
Cool.
And we put out our own 7-inch. A lot of us had recently discovered punk music, and we're very zealous about that and DIY and getting, learning how to do stuff through Maximum Rock and Roll. So we had our label, Join or Die. We put out our first 7-inch on that.
Oh, I didn't know that was a record label, Join or Die.
was really more of a tape label before that
Okay.
was cool.
Cool.
We put out a few tapes, and we put out one 7-inch, and it was Slow Gherkin's Death of a Salesman 7-inch. And
I think I own that.
really,
I think I do.
it was
What
reissued
was the
by
name? What was the
another
name of
label.
that 7-inch?
Death of a Salesman.
Oh,
And
nice.
we did a collection of rarities, if you can call a band at our level a band deserving of the word rarities. But we did a collection of songs called Death of a Ska Band a few years ago.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was the Death of the Ska Band thing that I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Did you play a song off of that up in San Francisco at Bottom of the Hill? Did you play Death of a Salesman?
There is no song called Death of a Salesman.
It's just the record.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I definitely don't have that 7-inch.
Maybe not. Perhaps not. But no, we actually, if I can just jump way forward, I think 5 years ago we did an EP because we kept getting these reunion show offers. And every year it's like, this is going to be one too many, and we're going to embarrass ourselves and regret ever reuniting in the first place. So about 5 years ago, it was like, all right, well, let's write some songs. Let's put some new shit in there. And we did. We did, because we're all spread out all over the state. We did 2 songs and bashed them out in a day and put out an EP called Lives. It's called Lives.
Nice.
It's
nice.
out there. It's 2 songs I'm really proud of that we all, in our usual style, just all wrote together. And I think it's some of our best stuff.
We on the podcast, when we get creatives such as yourself on here, we like to put up a little clip with actors. It's like something they're proud of that they recently worked on. I was asking Chris, do you have any recent music videos? We can throw up a little 15-second clip so the audience can get a feel of your vibe right now. Is there anything in particular?
Yeah, we'll cut to we'll cut to it. You know what I mean? Like on
good.
like on a Tonight Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe just introduce what we're about to see, and then we'll play it, and then we'll come back and you can talk a little bit about it.
Okay, well, our only music video was from 1998. It's a fun karaoke-themed music video, but there's some... You can dig up some fairly high-quality live footage. Would that work?
Sure. Or we could do the music video. The music video.
Let's do.
yeah.
We're gonna play like a little 15-second clip of the music video.
Okay, let's
from
do that.
1998. What's the name of the song?
The name
that
of
we're
the
about to see?
song is How Now Lowbrow. It's off our second album, Shed Some Skin, which came out in '98, and we worked with a UCSC student to shoot a music video in a karaoke bar in Santa Cruz and on campus, and we had full access to this massive costume department and some pretty cool locations around UCSC, which is like, if you've never been there, it's like the moon of Endor. Should I keep going?
Let's check the clip out. We'll
Roll to
look at it
clip.
right now.
Yeah, let's go to the clip.
Let's go to the clip.
How now, low brow. How now, low brow. I don't think enough, I think too much.
Oh, that was awesome. Thanks for.
That was great. That was great.
I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah.
That's a great.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was definitely the performance. It was just electric. You could feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun
He's
fact.
not wrong,
fun
actually.
fact. Yeah, I'm not wrong.
What's a fun fact,
Well-
Rick? Give me a fun fact.
Well, the fun fact is I haven't seen it yet. I'm acting like I did.
Yeah,
you know,
some
because
good acting.
yeah, I'm right in front of a dog park right now. I heard your dog is in the car with Chris. What kind of dog do you have?
This is Coupon. He is a Puggle Wawa, Pug Beagle Chihuahua.
oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
We got him. There's a place right up there that sets up on a lawn and has a lot of sweet little puppies. And, it's an adoption thing.
He's
and
really cool.
he's a cool guy.
He's a super cool dog.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that name. I love dog names and just I want to name a dog Spanish. I think that would be a cool name. but how'd you get the name Coupon?
My ex-wife and I had been visualizing our dog since we lived in New York, and we had a whole list of names ready to deploy, and none of them was a conventional name. We had Coupon, we had Meatball, we had Fat Ass. That would be
That
a
was the
specific.
name of the dog?
Yeah.
Fat Ass?
I
No.
like that.
Oh, it's cool. It's great.
We had Snacks, spelled SNAX.
Ooh, I like Snacks is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we saw this dog, and first of all, it's like he turned around and was like, "I'm pretty sure that's our dog, and I'm pretty sure his name's Coupon." It was like, you know,
You just knew.
we just
Yeah.
knew. Yeah.
That's how it is. It's weird. It's
Yeah. How'd you come up with Maya, Rick? Rick's got a little. What
I've
kind of
got-
dog is Maya? Rat terrier?
Maya's she's a rat terrier. Maya came pre-named when I adopted her from this family. The 8-year-old daughter named all 4 of the pups that were in the litter different names, and she named Maya. And I've always liked that name. I used that name in a Zen Dog in the movie I made, and it's always been I just like the name, it just the way it sounds, and
Yeah.
and it was weird because I kind of experienced the same thing that you went through, where you kind of like that's going to be your dog, and the dog will give you some kind of a look, and there's some weird ethereal connection that you have with these animals, where
That's
you
exactly
just know
right.
that it's just they choose you, they really do.
I
And,
believe that 100%. And Maya is a
How,
beautiful name.
yeah, it's fun to say. How long have you had Coupon for?
God, I think 5 years now. We
5
were in
years.
New York, and but I'm from Santa Cruz, and my dad lived down here, and I wanted to be closer to him, so kind of started a new life here in 2015, and
Yeah, that's right. You moved down because I used to live in the same neighborhood as you. I
That's right.
remember, and we would see each other at the father's office randomly.
that's right. Oh my God,
It's a
that
good
was
bar.
a while ago.
That
Good
was
bar.
That is a while ago.
Yeah.
But then,
So go ahead, Chris.
well, no, I was gonna bring it up too because then you were starting to work at Playboy, and then I had friends that I went to high school with. My friend Miles, who was working with you.
Yes.
But I guess you were working at Playboy, and then you had invited me to go to a thing called Thirsty Thursday.
That's right.
So this is kind of a good story. But yeah, James also, what is your title before we get into the Thirsty Thursday story?
Executive editor.
Executive editor. Okay.
Over at
Yeah.
Playboy.
Yeah, yeah. And one of my favorite stories is this one. It was early days for me, and Playboy does have a thing called Thirsty Thursday, where there's always been a bar at Playboy, and they open it up to staff, friends, and playmates hang out. And this was all very new to me, and I invited Chris, and I guess we shouldn't say the names of the playmates, but
No.
but two who became dear friends to me, and in addition to just being blindingly beautiful, so I was just meeting them myself along with Chris.
So you finish your version. I'll go
Okay.
into my version
All
after
right.
that. Yeah.
So Chris was talking to one of these playmates, and I kind of drifted off and was talking to another. And I looked over a little while later, and the playmate Chris was talking to was pulling a magazine out of her bag, and it was the one that had her on the cover. And she gave it to Chris, and I was just watching Chris's eyes go up, down, up, magazine, person, same person.
Yeah.
And his brain like really struggling to process that.
blowing his mind.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that accurate?
Very accurate. I'll embellish a little more. I remember I thought it was really cool that you were living down in LA because I knew James from years prior in the music world, and we had reconnected as buds. And he invites me he's working at Playboy, so I'm like, all right, great. So he says, well, we do this thing called Thirsty Thursdays. You should come check it out. So I was like, oh, absolutely, I have to go see this. So it was at the time when Playboy was in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still there.
No, we're in Westwood now.
Okay, it was next to, for all the insiders, next to the UTA office.
UTA.
All the Hollywood insiders. That's where I drive
shit.
there. Just imagine me in this car or a Subaru
Oh my
like
God.
it, and I get out and I'm like, I'm going
The
to a
hell's
Playboy party. I'm going to a Playboy party. And I go inside and I see James, and the people in there, it's a mix. It's a mix of people who clearly work for Playboy who are just like having a drink, playmates who are you can't really tell but gorgeous women, and then like these Beverly Hills kind of like characters. This is the correct way to put it.
Sure.
Like leather jackets, kind of like balding, big glasses,
Creeps.
like.
Creeps.
No,
I wouldn't go
call
so
it far.
far.
No. Just I wouldn't call them creeps. It's this archetype of a Beverly Hills guy. Here's a plug with the Where's This Party, the show I did with Garen. Kind of those types of guys where they just like look like they're like one martini away from pitching you their next movie script, and and it was like that's the energy. And so I see James, and then this one girl who I was talking to, that happened. Like I'm talking to her, and I'm like, oh, she's really cool. And it didn't cross my mind that she was a playmate because in my head, still playmates were these like 80s style playmates or 90s style playmates with like big hair and like just really like dynamic. And she was just very subdued and gorgeous. And then she pulls the magazine out, and I'm like, oh, cool, like. And she's like on it, and I'm looking up and I couldn't believe you saw it, basically, because that is exactly what happened. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then I had to leave, and James, you ended up hanging out, and did you smoke pot with them later? Was that what it was, or something like that?
Well,
maybe not.
They played board games.
Yeah.
We had some more drinks, and we were sitting out until it was just the three of us, and these playmates were talking about how they couldn't get dates. They're like, where are the guys? We can't, get arrested in this town. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, am I being punked right now? If I commiserate, are they gonna be like, psych? You really believe we can't get dates? But they were sincere.
I believe that.
And it was such a strange initiation. And I saw a fellow editor looking out on the patio from the inside, just chuckling quietly at me, just like, welcome to the club. This is like your hazing ritual.
I was just really happy to be a part of it. To counter that, too, I got invited to the Christmas party this year by James. Mm-hmm. Here's a Starbucks. Let's go. Let's go get a little drive-through coffee. And again, no bikes. We're good. Equally as fun.
How long have you been with them for? And how did you get can you talk about how you got the job and how you
Yeah, I can talk about that. I've been there going on 4.5 years, and I was at Paper Magazine in New York for my last couple years there, and ended up serving as managing editor right before they did the old Break the Internet issue with Kim Kardashian and the champagne.
Yeah.
Which was a real...
with her ass. The giant ass
among
photo,
other things,
right?
Yes. There were two covers, actually, and one was the champagne arcing over her head and into not into her ass.
Yeah, practically.
Well, there was a coupe. Not
Not this coupe.
Anyway, yes. So, Baptism in Fire, I did that as managing editor for a year, and quit because I wanted to move here and be closer to my dad, and really never expected to work in magazines again. It's a shrinking island, and I didn't feel that qualified, and I certainly didn't think I was going to be a fit for Playboy. But someone sent me a job posting, I thought as a joke, and then I looked at it. I was like, well, this is kind of what I've been doing. Fuck it. Let's give it a shot. And, short version, I got my first interview 2 days after they announced the non-nude thing. Where I had to really pivot and just be like, okay, forget most of what I have researched and like,
right.
Okay, non-nude. Wow, that's interesting. And, And then
cool.
I got the job.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
I was Playboy aside too. Like, I was just always impressed because it's like I think being in bands for a really long time, like, and knowing James, specifically knowing you through your music world, like it's people pivot and go off to do all kinds of other things, and it's like, and as a kid I like knew you in the band, and then to see you kind of off into the entertainment world, and then to like relink up with you there, that was really cool for me because like like Mike Park, for example, still runs Asian Man Records, and like Dan
Yeah.
still does music and ME330 and all that stuff, and it's really great. But it's fun to see people who are also kind of in the same world that you're in, and it was just cool. I was like, oh, all right. I remember seeing him play at the Troubadour or whatnot when I was a kid. So
yeah, did not see that coming.
I didn't
I
expect.
did not.
Right. So you didn't. So were you always? You were doing music primarily for a while, because I know that when you were. So you moved to New York City, and you had another band going on in New York City.
Mhm.
And what was that project called?
I mean, no, I think there were 4 substantial ones. So I
Okay.
guess we could maybe talk about the last one, which I can unabashedly praise because I wasn't the main creative force in
Got
it. But I was in a band called People Get Ready for about 4 years, and with a couple real geniuses singing in it. And if you look it up, you'll find it was very like dance oriented. The main guy came from a dance background and toured with Dave Byrne with my ex-wife, and that's how I got to know him. And then he wanted to start a band that incorporated music and dance.
Right.
And remarkably, no one was really doing what you, I guess, would call like indie pop, and
Right.
and choreographing it. So when we started doing it, people were like, "What the fuck is this?" Because we were doing it in like Death by Audio and like DIY spaces, as well as theaters,
Right.
in New York, and it was, I don't know, I'd never heard of anyone like straddling those worlds and doing movement anywhere we played. And I was so proud to have been a part of that, and I still occasionally dip into the 2 albums we did, which are, of course, on Spotify, and just think, damn, that was insane.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet Hef?
No, I didn't, and I regret that.
Yeah.
I just barely caught the Mansion.
Does that work?
Where I was there at the last Midsummer Night's Dream party, which is their massive.
That's it.
Is the
Summer.
mansion no longer a thing?
Well, it's standing, but
Thank
after he died, it passed out of, Playboy or
Okay.
Hefner estate hands, and as far as I know, they're not even changing.
don't
I don't
use
know
it.
what the plan is for the mansion, but I
Yeah.
was very lucky to go to one massive party where the mandatory dress code was sleepwear, and
Oh, yeah. Fun.
I wore a kimono. And on the way over there, was in a really bad mood. It's like, fuck, I don't want my workmates to see me in a kimono. This is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then we got to the rendezvous point where you take shuttles up to the mansion, and I saw a line of truly like 100 women in the teeniest of negligee pieces,
Mm-hmm.
like coordinated. I'm not sure who they were, but just really wearing very little. And I immediately thought, no one is looking at me, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
relax now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you own a kimono, or did you buy it specifically?
I would say I'm a
For-
kimono collector.
You're a kimono guy?
Really?
Yeah, my
Really?
family is really into kimonos.
I didn't know this.
This is breaking news.
This
I've
is-
never talked on record about my kimono fetish.
Yeah.
Well,
how many
let-
kimonos do you have?
I was forced to downsize a couple moves, but I think I got up to 6 or so.
Whoa.
Okay, that
6
seems like a
kimonos.
healthy. You can
Yeah.
wear a new kimono every day of the week except for
and
Sunday.
then I take Sunday off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
take
gotta.
Sunday off.
Do you dry clean a kimono? Is that how you clean it?
No.
You just throw it in the washer?
The ones you get in Chinatown are, pretty basic.
Oh, like a cotton?
Yeah. I never got too fancy.
You never
I
got
think
into like a silk kimono?
I think I had
Yeah, I
one.
figure like a
I've
silk
won.
kimono would be nice. What is what do you know what defines a kimono?
No.
What? No, I don't know either.
I think there are
Just
certain
a
sleeve,
fancy
proprietary sleeve things, like, it's got to have that square, big old sleeve. That's about all I know.
Hello, how are you? Good, good.
I should really
Guys
bone
getting
up
your
on
coffee.
kimonos. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, actually. The people at Starbucks have like a similar headpiece that we kind of have. Or at
Are
least
they
I
on
have.
Oh,
this
really?
podcast?
Hmm.
They're not. They could be.
Tell us about your ska band.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, my ska band. I don't.
No,
I don't
I'm
play
talking
any
to the
instrument.
barista.
Oh, Oh, okay, yeah. You know, I
Did
think
you-
it's funny that you guys have very funny band names. Slow Gherkin, Choto
Yeah.
Ghetto.
Yeah.
Is
Choto
that
Ghetto.
why Mike Park took you guys on? Because he likes interesting band names?
Well, of course, the band. I don't know about you, but the band that was
no.
our initial, like, religious experience seeing this band. Mike's old band was Skankin' Pickle.
Yeah, Mike Park's band is called Skankin' Pickle, and
Okay.
that's like as goofy as they get.
Yeah.
Now you saw you got to see Skankin' Pickle live, right?
In junior high,
Oh man.
and truly, it was like, our lives have changed. This is it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we have
Yeah.
no idea, but this is it. This is our path.
What
And it-
was it about Skankin' Pickle that spoke to you guys during that time? Can you go back to
Yeah.
that?
Oh my God. I mean, they were the most energetic, just like shit flying at you, unicycles, those sticks.
Oh,
Yeah.
the you know those sticks where you have like two sticks and then you're like kind of like passing back and forth, the one that's got like
the
a phrase
thing?
on it.
Yeah,
The phrase
you
on the
see 'em
top and
on,
the
like-
bottom. Is that those ones?
Yeah.
wait. Oh,
They
like
would
you
do
see him
that?
at a fish
Yeah.
show.
Probably. That sounds right.
Fish guys do that. Fish Grateful Dead guys. Go in
And
the
Skankin'
parking
Pickle
lot.
guys.
I saw Fish
Yeah.
live once. Didn't
Wow.
get it.
Yeah, me too. Not fun.
Not fun. I didn't have
Very
fun.
boring.
Have you seen Fish?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
okay. You're all right. You don't have to see them. They're not.
You don't need you can just sit in your place and listen to white noise and you're just as good.
They are like a confusing band to get behind, but that's it. It's these are fighting words for some people because they
Yeah.
love
Oh,
Fish.
none of our fans are Fish fans, okay? There's no Fish fans listening to this podcast.
Look, we've only got so many right now.
And if they are, you turn it off. You turn this off right now.
Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I saw. Anyways, back to Skankin' Pickle. Yeah, I had a similar experience when I listened to Mike's the Skankin' Pickle live record. I didn't actually love all of their recorded records at the time, but the live record was so energetic that like all the songs made a lot more sense to me after listening to them all live.
Oh, yeah. It was that. I mean, I love the albums, but that was the experience. I mean, they all wore random costumes, but truly it just came down to the energy.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that. And also, you know, we were in junior high, so we were coming off like, we didn't even know there was such a thing as a local band.
Thank you.
And we had seen
Oh, thank you so much.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, a pike with almond milk, grande.
Almond milk, grande.
That's right. And we'd seen Living Color. We'd seen basically like stadium and arena shows. And it's like, there are bands that play these community centers and are better
Then those
than
big
those
bands.
bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, mind blown. And there was so many great Santa Cruz punk, and you know, it's fucking Santa Cruz. They were all over the shop. Skankin' Pickle was from the San Jose area, but yeah.
No, go ahead. I had an. There you go. Here you go.
All right, have a good one. Thank you.
Oh
You got
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got a cup holder over there.
Oh yeah, you got one just for you. All right.
Nice.
How does this is another dumb question I got, but I don't play any instruments. I've never been in a band.
Okay.
How did as Slow Gherkin, how did you find your sound and how did you gravitate more towards ska? Was that just something that you all enjoyed as individuals and just would kind of gravitate towards that? Or what was it about the ska sound
The ska.
that
Mm,
ska?
that's a great question.
That's a great question, and it does come back to Skankin' Pickle and just the pure exhilaration. I don't think any of us had felt something like that, even at the punk shows that were also really deeply affecting us. Oh, sorry, Scoop. And yeah, we knew that was it. And but you know, you got to acknowledge that suburban kids are going to chase a lot of trends and get excited about
Yeah.
metal, and then you go to high school and meet one punker kid and you throw out all the metal tapes, and then you're you know, getting into Bad Religion and Fugazi and God almighty, blanking on the other ones now, Bad Brains, Minor Threat, all that stuff. And then you see ska, and it's like, that's it. But at least that one held out for almost 9 years.
Is ska like? yeah, just because I did ska bands too growing up, and I can kind of tack onto this in my opinion, but it's like there is something, the energy that kind of goes down in ska music is just like unlike any other sound. It's driving and it's melodic, and you can kind of get, it's just a different kind of energy in the sound. And I know from my personal experience, so I can nerd out a little bit here, Slow Gherkin was so good. They had like that energy that I'm talking about, and like really impressive like horn lines and really great melodies. And the songs are just really freaking catchy. And you guys would play so fast. I just was so hyped.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to see you at the show in San Francisco at Bottom of the Hill, because like I was just like, this is so good. Like it still holds up, you know. And not a lot of bands can keep that energy going as time goes on. But I was really happy to see it still cooking.
No, thank you so much. And
Who's your, if you had to, oh, go ahead.
Well, I'll just add a quick story to that about our last reunion show back in November. We opened for the Bruce Lee Band, which is sort of Mike Park doing. You guys did Skank and Pickle songs, right?
Yeah, we did.
The whole Mike Park canon.
Oh, I just spilled coffee everywhere.
Oh shit! Yeah, I already did that.
It's good for the podcast.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
really good for the podcast. All right.
Good thing it's
Anyways,
iced. Your
I'm
groin would be
fine.
on fire right now.
Yeah.
What did you soak exactly? Like, where did you spill it?
It's everywhere. It's on my shirt and my jeans. But
Oh, how did you do that?
I just got excited about the story, and I kind of grabbed the cup a little harder, and it popped open. I'm kind of like
Maybe
Lenny
you
from
shouldn't
a
be
Mice.
drinking cold brew.
I'm like Lenny from a Mice of Men.
Yeah,
Wow, what a-
doesn't Lenny?
Odd association.
I've never
I feel like a
Mice of
Lenny.
Men.
It's incredibly sad.
It's really sad.
I've never read it.
I
I
don't
don't know
feel
who
like a
this
Lenny,
Lenny is. I always act like I know what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
And,
really sad book. It's a terribly sad book.
Yeah. It's
So
a
who was
gouger.
Lenny? What did Lenny do that was so? He killed someone, right? He killed like a dog.
No,
Okay.
it got worse than that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
spoilers.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want
Steinbeck
to spoil
spoilers.
it. I don't know.
No.
Hey,
No,
let's
no.
spoil it. Spoil it for me. What did
People
Lenny do?
in the podcastosphere, read of Mice and Men, but be ready to fucking sob.
Yeah.
And or you know, as I recall, the John Malkovich, Gary Sinise.
yes.
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's the movie version
is really
is
brutal.
also just. I'm welling up thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
Are there mice in it?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
There
yes.
are.
Yes,
Okay.
there's mice.
And men.
There's
And
mice.
men. Are
And
you
there's
a mice?
men.
That's sometimes like it's like when I ask you, Rick, what are you, a mouse or a man? You know what I mean? When
I'm a mouse, dude.
It is like that.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
Right.
Sorry,
so
you're saying
at the
about
reunion
the show.
we opened up for the Bruce Lee Band, which has Chris, Jeff Rosenstock, and Dan Pothas from the great MU330.
Another great band.
And, you know, I really try to push myself as hard as I can, which gets harder and harder the older I get. But, like, I have this thing I say in my head. So we played our show, staggered off stage. I had taken my shirt off and put it on AJ, the other singer. So I was steaming and walking around and drinking other people's whiskey. And then I eventually got back down to the stage and started, you know, rounding up my shit. And Dan complimented me on our set, and I said, yeah, man, I leave it all out on the stage. And he said, oh, yeah, you mean your gear and shit that's lying around all over the place? I was like, no, oh, sorry. That's, my word choice was poor.
It was very poor.
I was trying to allow myself a moment of, you know, self-praise, I guess, and it really backfired.
That crew doesn't allow self-praise too much, you know, you just gotta...
I don't... what was I thinking?
Yeah, that
I never do that.
Yeah,
And the one time I did, it was just kicked me right in the nards.
that crew of people...
Wolfman's
they're-
got nards.
Yeah, he doesn't have nards. Do it.
Who? What? Did I just have a stroke? Who's Wolfman?
Monster Squad.
You never saw Monster Squad, Chris?
No, I never saw Wolf... What?
Classic
Monster Squad.
movie from the 80s. They
kick him in the
Wolfman
nards.
in the nards.
I never saw it.
Ugh.
How many times do
Well,
we have
I
to
gotta
say
go
he
read
kicked
Mice and
Wolfman
Men.
in the nards?
Before I've seen the movie? Probably a lot more times because it's going to take me a while to get home and watch it. I won't watch
It's
it.
a good movie.
I like that we're developing a syllabus for this episode. Mice and Men, Monster Squad,
Should we-
People Get Ready's
Yeah.
physiques. What else?
I love Monster Squad. Monster Squad. Have you seen Monster Squad recently? It's very dated, as
I'm
all
sure.
things are.
Yeah.
You like,
Yeah.
there's a nostalgic glow about these movies, and then you watch them again. You're like, okay. James,
yeah.
what do you play in Slow Gherkin? I don't even know. Are you
we have
lead singer?
Well, we have two lead
Okay.
singer guitarists, me and AJ. Not a conscious mimicking of the Clash, but I think at a certain point that's what we really wanted to be. With me as the more gruff guy and AJ the more melodic.
Okay.
So
And then who writes the songs? It's kind of back and forth.
always
Or,
been, people. It's always come down to like a bass line or a riff, and then you thrash it out in the room. When we did Shed Some Skin, we spent, 4 months practicing 8 hours a day, I think.
What?
Yeah, it was like Black Flag level insanity and really having a hard time with each other. But we had to get an album written, and that, AJ and I were barely like at home with our guitars, like writing songs. We were writing little bits, and the bass player, a lot of it was driven by our first bass player who had great melodic things. We would start there. And that's my favorite creative process, but also absolutely the hardest.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So you would, the idea would start, and then you would work it in the room. You
Yeah.
wouldn't demo it out and build it. It would have to come together in the room.
Yeah, and also there wasn't that technology back then
No,
to
absolutely.
demo. You would just keep playing it, and then go in the studio and play it mostly live, or at least the rhythm tracks. And
Where did you record those records? Because I remember talking to Mike, and there was like this one studio. I went there one day in San Jose. Is that where you recorded those records?
one of them, Shed Some Skin, was recorded in Campbell at Soundtech, which was
Can I
such
get
a
an
luxury.
8-layer veggie burrito?
Oh, you're.
Whoa.
Wait, whoa,
and
hold on.
and a chimichurri steak taco.
Whoa.
Thanks.
Damn.
I'm at Del Taco.
Wait. What,
That's it.
What happened to the espresso beans?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to do a medium Diet Coke as well, please. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, sorry,
it,
guys.
man.
I got a little
Okay.
hungry, and I didn't want to leave the podcast. I'm not going to go get espresso beans. I'm going to be here, the here and now with you guys. We're all in the car together.
Well, you could have just
Well,
said,
not
like,
really.
I'm getting in line at Del Taco, but instead.
I wanted it to be a surprise, you know?
Yeah, it was.
And
Here.
it was. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Damn.
I just figure if you guys are getting coffee, I'm going to get, a little bit of, I haven't eaten all day. And
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
loves Del Taco, and I'm here in solidarity for
Uh-oh.
Chris.
Del Taco's really good. What do you
You know what?
prefer
This
of
is-
the
this is a
taco?
tax
Del
write-off.
Taco's the better one, right?
Wow.
Del Taco or Taco Bell?
My answer to that's going to be so lame.
Neither.
No, what is it?
Well, Chipotle. Can I say that?
You can say Chipotle.
Yeah, you could say that.
yeah, but they're not
That
the same.
counts.
It doesn't
Well,
count
they're,
really,
all,
though.
they're all fast food.
There's not a drive-through version of Chipotle, though, is there?
No, I don't think so. It's a grill, technically, nominally.
You want to know my real favorite? You both, El Pollo Loco. Even though I don't eat chicken, El Pollo Loco's got my. He's over there. That's my favorite one. Is El Pollo Loco.
Oh.
El Pollo Loco.
This has
Oh,
actually been
yeah.
a really nice drive for me because I love Santa Monica so much. We've been hitting a lot of my Santa Monica highlights.
Yeah, I love this crazy old town.
They've been changing it around a lot, though.
Mm-hmm.
this
James,
fall.
where in New York? Where in New York did you? Oh, thanks. I'll take the receipt. Where in New York did you live?
I was in Long Island City, Queens for 13
Okay.
years in the same
Oh wow.
house. I had a very unusual situation. It was pretty much open, original floor plan townhouse with a revolving cast, and I was on the parlor floor and got to do essentially acoustic shows there for about 4 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was called the 7 Train Sessions because my place was, you like walked out the door and you were underneath the elevated 7 Train track. As the Blues Brothers said, how often do the trains go by? So often you don't even notice it.
Uh-huh.
It was like that.
Yeah.
I stayed at that
I-
place. I stayed at that place like maybe over a long ass time ago. Is that
Yeah.
a right usage of time? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
How did you guys originally meet? You and Chris.
I was playing with Dan Podhast and hit a solo thing.
Yeah.
We did a run of shows, I think, with Chris Murray and another Santa Cruz band, the Huxtables. And we came down and played some weird-ass place in the valley, like a matinee show.
It was called the Cobalt Cafe. It's not there
it is.
anymore.
There it is. And there was a band that got on stage with about 18 guys called Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
That's
right.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
there was
18
Chris.
guys that were playing
It
like
looked
different
like it.
instruments.
No,
Wow.
there was a lot of us. There was that was my high school band. It was with this guy Kevin Preston, original name Kevin Gorman. Kevin Preston, who now plays in Green Day.
What?
He's the backup guitar player for Green Day.
No way.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then the singer is no longer alive. He passed away, unfortunately.
Oh.
It was pretty sad. The drummer is still around, and then a saxophone player. And I think that night we had a trombone player as well too. And I loved that band. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that I remember
Thanks,
that
man.
show specifically.
I think there's a Diet Coke as well.
Oh, did you
Diet
get a
Coke?
Diet Coke? Oh
Oh,
wow,
I
that's
mean,
nice.
I did, Chris. Sorry, guys. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. So Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
But that was fine. But I remember, yeah, it was a big show for us because these were like high-level acoustic ska bands
Right.
about to be playing with. So it was a good show, actually, if I recall.
Strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But-
we were totally
you.
won over by Optimus Prime and their energy. And that was 2002, I think.
Oh
Okay.
my
wow.
God,
Guys
2002.
Known each other for a long ass time. Long ass. See, Chris?
Long ass
Long
time.
ass time.
Yeah, long ass time. Yeah, but and then I remember I would just go to shows basically, and as a kid, and I would just go to the merch table and try and not be super creepy and talk as much as I could until it was like socially awkward-ish, and then I would kind of walk away. But I remember going
Yeah.
to there's like a truck
Okay.
full of we're next to like a big truck of bros.
Big old truck of bros.
But I remember seeing them play. You played a show with the Hippos and RX Bandits, and you opened, and they cut your time off. I remember.
Ugh.
Sounds about
How did they
right.
cut your time off? Did
I
they just-
remember we're all in the crowd dancing and going nuts, and then the guy comes on this mic and he's like, "You guys are done." And you
You're
got
done. That was the
What?
fucking worst. Yeah, it's fairly common when the things just run late, and we always prided ourselves on not being dicks and like being punctual, but still you get yanked, and you're just like, oh, okay, good night. Fuck this.
That's
place.
annoying.
Yeah, but we didn't actually talk trash on stage.
Yeah.
Only in our minds.
Did you actually? I've got a question. Because you were kind of in the height of the ska boom that was going on, and like for Rick, like ska was huge in the I guess late '90s, early 2000s.
The year, the
Chris,
peak.
I know.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm from this planet.
Good. I like that answer.
No,
That it's not just totally obscure. But yeah, you know, there's a good watershed moment because our second album, 1998, I just told this story at the reunion show. We were recording it in the summer of 98, and Mike had given us a very generous budget, but he would come in the studio and pace around and say, "Oh my God, no one's going to buy this album. What are we doing? We shouldn't have done
Oh my God.
this. It's over. It's over, man."
Typical
And,
Mike Park.
you know,
Mike,
he
worry
was
ward.
right. Well, he was very prescient, as it turned out.
Yeah.
Like, it turned that year. And whereas you could basically you could get, I don't know, you pretty easily sell 10,000 copies of an album,
Yeah.
which, depending on how you look at it, if you're a teenage kid, that's pretty impressive. And suddenly that just crashed.
What
It just
caused it to crash? Does culture just shift into the new thing? I'm always so curious about how these trends just morph into
Yeah.
something. Did ska become something else, or is
Well,
ska
I-
just
oh.
preserved? like a jelly.
Oh, wow. It's
Like
you
a
know, I
jelly.
think it more than a lot of genres, it hit this saturation point. I've never seen so many CDs at the time and compilations that
Comps were
would have had
big.
many installments and like 30 bands per.
Yeah.
And the quality kept dropping where it's like everybody's piling on and you can't, it's hard to find stuff that has real care and craft in it. And I think that was a big factor. But, you know, all trends do it. And
Uh-oh, we lost him.
did we? Or is that,
Yeah.
you got someone on the, oh.
No.
Lost him.
That's so... We're still doing the podcast, though.
Oh, we're still
Yeah,
on,
we're
okay.
still on it, yeah. So weird.
He's eating his burrito.
He's eating his burrito right now. Yeah, we keep this thing running. That's how the podcast works.
I'm here. I tell you.
Where to now? We've
Oh
been
my God,
circling
I can
around-
hear my voice.
around Santa Monica.
Yeah, I'm
hanging
not
up.
sure.
Call him back.
We're going to probably...
It's terrible.
Whenever we get Rick back on the phone, we'll probably... You know, it could be Santa Monica. It just could be kind of dodgy service over here. Hold on.
Oh.
It could be. That's the only thing I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going, though, everybody. Oh, here he comes. You there? Rick?
Hello?
I mean,
Yeah.
you're hooked
What the
in.
hell
but-
is going on?
I know, but something's going on. I think it's Santa Monica, maybe. Oh, here we go. Gotcha.
Hello.
We got you.
There
Sorry
you
about that.
go.
Hey, lesson learned. Never bringing up chemtrails ever again.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot. Yeah, this podcast has gone all over the place today. It's gone. Anyways, no, I figure we were just talking about. We'll probably drive
Last-
around.
I
go ahead.
basically got you guys cut off when you were talking about a lot of compilation albums. We hit a
Yes.
saturation point with ska. And then it was just, did it just like dry up overnight? Was it kind of or was it a gradual thing that took a couple of months for people to kind of lose interest in that specific genre?
It definitely happened in the course of a year, and
Yeah.
that seemed very fast. It was like, wait, what? What's happening? We're just, doing our thing. I didn't really think it was gonna crash that
Right.
fast, but by '99 it was very palpable, and there was a sort of something in the collective ska unconsciousness where it became embarrassing all of a sudden, and it was like this big joke. It was like the uncoolest thing you could be.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
shifted into like it just lost its cool for some reason. Because I was slugging it out in the latter years, and I'd still go to ska shows, and you just would see like pretty poor turnouts. And I remember, just from my experience, a lot of bands started doing they tried to do records that weren't ska, so they kept the band going. Like Let's Go Bowling did a record that was really bad. I mean, no knock on them, but it was just like they were this really great ska band, and then they just tried to do a rock record. And then Blue Meanies did the same thing. And then Slow Gherkin, you did a shift record, but it actually sounded really good.
Oh, thanks.
Which was called Run Screaming.
Apt title, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, Run Screaming from the ska scene.
Yeah.
But it's got a dog on the cover, which is nice.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember I really actually enjoyed that. And when did Run Screaming come out?
2002.
Okay.
Right when we met. How about that?
That makes
Um,
sense.
If you won't be able to see it. If you turn left on 14th, you can see where I got coupon.
I'm going to turn left anyways. We'll just see.
Okay.
No, this is on. Well, you'll see it on YouTube.
Should we throw to? I can't remember what the dog shelter is called. Anyway, yeah. I mean, so we were susceptible to that too, to that feeling of like this is so uncool. And what we didn't realize is, I would argue that it was never. Like, cool isn't the right word for ska. Ska was a kind of music where people would show up and frantically run in place with maximum elbows and knees and sweat and be pink-faced, and all whatever windows were in the venue were opaque with condensed sweat.
Yeah.
Steam.
And no one was trying to look cool.
Yeah.
And I would
it was
argue
an
that
energy thing.
it's an
Yeah.
energy thing, and because You're not trying to look cool. It's one of the most inclusive
Yes.
kinds of music I've ever been associated with, and I miss that, and I guess I'm more
Yeah.
aware of it every time we reunite. And,
Yeah, ska is fucking fun to dance to. It's those horns and just the driving drum beats, and yeah, it's I could see it coming back, you know. I mean, things always kind of recycle. And do you know anything about the history of ska and like where it came from? And
Do I ever?
you know, just like how
Chris,
the hell? It's obviously a fusion of something. Who started it? The ska.
You, in broad strokes, could say a band called the Skatalites from Jamaica. And it's an amazing writer named John Jeremiah Sullivan. We're going to add this to this podcast episode's syllabus.
Yeah.
If you just look up John Jeremiah Sullivan ska, he tracked it down to about 5 records. And between those 5 records is the origin of ska music that has to do with forms that are indigenous to Jamaica, and then the R&B records that were going back and forth, and a few very influential guys who were going between America and Jamaica. And so it was never, I mean, you could probably say this about any genre, but it was never this pure thing that sprang out of somebody's head fully formed. It had its own roots, you know, its own various roots from the beginning. So there was always this notion of purity once 90s ska came along, when it's like you are appropriating this sound from the 60s and
It also has really strong roots in London too, like
yes.
with the two-tone sound. And the two-tone sound is basically like direct influence from Jamaica, goes to England. You get a lot of big bands from there.
Yeah.
And,
but that was actually, two-tone was Coventry. It was real working class, where you had people immigrating from the West Indies, I believe, there might have been auto factories around Coventry, but real gritty working class stuff. And that's, I think, part of why bands like the Specials were biracial. That was the community up there.
It was an understanding that it wasn't just like a segregated world. It was, stronger together, united kind of bands and all of this stuff, because that was the working class.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more involved than that.
Yeah, definitely. That's my broad
basic
stroke over it.
Yeah.
See, Rick, you don't even need to be in this podcast. We could just talk about ska for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I just know that I could see the direct influence from the two-tone sound into bands like, if you talk to Mike Park, and we have to get him back on the podcast, two-tone is a huge influence on like bands like Skanka Pickle and Voodoo Glow Skulls, and this kind of early 90s generation of ska music that then influences Slow Gherkin. That's how I kind of see it go down.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it an evolution, but yeah, it's, I don't know, you could say a lineage at least.
Sure.
And you go from step to step and pick up things and drop things, and I don't think that's an indicator of quality. It's not the farther you get away from the Skatalites and Desmond Decker and guys like that, the worse it gets necessarily.
No, that's definitely not how it is.
Yeah.
It's just, but right now in LA, there's a huge Mexican ska scene. It's really big. And that's kind of your fourth wave. It's huge.
Is it called Mexican ska, or is there like another name for it?
No, I think it's just ska, but it's like, it's that they're all, Mexican American kids living in SoCal. It's like a SoCal scene, but then there's a lot of bands in Mexico City.
God. We played a show with a band called La Lupita at the Santa Cruz Vets Hall. All time one of our favorite shows, because they're a huge band in Mexico. And they had a thing where it was very poppy, And then they had, I think, 2 metalheads in the band.
Uh-huh.
So it was like this pop ska, and then just shroud, and back to ska. But amazing band, and it was almost entirely Latino kids. I don't know if any of our fans were there at all.
Yeah.
But they just took it up to an entirely new level.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with it now, but I know that it's really strong.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Is Sublime considered ska, or am I?
They were
Would they?
all over the shop. If you
Yeah.
take their song "Wrong Way," that is straight up ska, and it
Yeah.
shows you. I mean, it's a pretty brilliant song in that it's so minimalist. It's 3 guys and a trombone solo. That's
Yeah.
all it takes, really.
I love that song.
I have to say, it's a bop.
Definitely.
Am I saying that right? Bop?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sublime. Sublime though, they were always like they were like a little too popular for ska bands,
Right.
You know, because they definitely like were capturing more of a vibe and an energy, and they're totally the Long Beach sound.
Yeah.
Wait, what do
know,
you mean too popular? Wait, you can't be popular and be ska?
There was a stigma there. It was always like sell out. That was still a thing that we kind of borrowed from the punk scene, I think, when
Oh,
bands
sell
would
out,
go
yeah.
to major labels. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny to think back. We were playing a show at Slim's in San Francisco, and it was like, Bradley died, and the singer of Sublime had just OD'd, and I think they'd just come through Santa Cruz, and it was a real mess. He was late and very fucked up, and then he was gone. We played our local place, the Catalyst. I guess that was 94, and we went to load in, and one of these old sound guys was like, "Who's this? The Nirvana tribute act?" We're like, "That's a weird thing to say." And then a minute later,
What
it
a
was like,
dick.
"Oh, Kurt Cobain died."
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is fun. What am I trying to say here? It's weird. What I'm getting at is that reminds me just of like how music trends are changing so much. But it's nice that there are still shows where there's bands setting up and playing, because it's a lot of DJ driven stuff now, which is really fun too. But it's not. I've noticed, especially when we were playing those shows up north. It's more and more of a unique thing to get like a band of people together and they're all playing instruments on
Yeah.
stage, and
Yeah.
and that's
man.
kind of going to be the next trend, where it's like you want to go see a DJ, or do you want to see an actual band performing music?
I fucking hope so. I have to say, it was disappointing to me in New York to see the basic live band experience almost go extinct, and everyone's like playing to tracks, or there's no drummer. I have a panic attack if I see any kind of music act without a drummer.
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
hang with that. And I was just starved for bands that played and fed off each other, you
Yeah.
know. And the value of an energetic connection seemed to be lost, and it was about looking cool and getting the sound that was like, whoa, this is the next thing, man.
So Rick, we're getting pretty close here to getting back to James's place. Did you have
Okay,
any
yeah.
other questions? Because we're getting around the end period of the show, anyways.
Yeah, we are. I wanted to ask, what are you currently listening to? Like, what's
Oh, good cue.
what's getting you excited right now?
Good cue. Well, I will say there are no details I can't get into right now, but I have a goal of starting a band this year.
Great.
Yeah, there's
Amazing.
some little things underway, some guys I'm starting to play with, and I am privately extremely excited about it.
Nice.
And it's like nothing I've ever played before. We were actually playing last night, and I brought in a song that goes from very slow to very fast. And the first comparison was like, yeah, that sounds like early Soundgarden. Like,
Oh yes.
all right.
Cool.
And then it kind of goes into a no effects part. So go fucking figure. But but as far as what I'm listening to, I've been trying to decide if it should be a melodic band or I should do my usual kind of barking. I like to describe it as Kermit the Frog being strangled. That's my brand
Yeah.
as an artist.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
And,
Kermit the Frog. He already sounds like he's being strangled, though.
Yeah, but just
His voice.
It's-
kick
yeah,
that
yeah,
up a
more.
notch,
Yeah,
and
pitch it up.
that's my sound.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
So, on the way to practice yesterday, I was listening to Sunny Day Real Estate, and then I played my girlfriend. She'd never heard the band Health, and I fucking love those
Oh,
guys.
God, I love Health. Yeah, they're amazing.
And it's so grating and industrial, but then pop. You know, that guy sounds like Ben Gibbard or something.
Yeah.
And that really works for me. And one of the best shows I've seen in the last couple of years was Glassjaw from Long Island. I think.
Oh,
Okay.
God, I love Glassjaw.
Aren't they from Long Island?
They
I
are.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also melodic. And so I'm
Nice.
wondering if I have that in me.
I think you do.
That's yeah, you're gravitating towards it. It sounds
Chodo,
like it.
Chodo Ghetto I was really influenced by Glassjaw. I loved that band.
Yeah. Fucking such a powerful live show. But I'm trying to think of new stuff I'm listening to. There's an album by Soccer Mommy coming out that just, punched me right in the face. I've been trying to listen to, advanced streams of stuff, so I have the illusion of being with it at work. Taurus is great. Torres
Okay.
Yeah,
is one I really
I've
like.
heard of them.
I haven't heard of them.
Black Lips has an awesome country album coming out.
Black Lips is great.
Yeah. God, who else? Someone I keep going back to, I just love is Pusha T. He kind of keeps dropping singles, and I just think his lyrical craft is amazing, and he can be really funny.
Yeah.
I love that his signature thing is yuck, yuck. It's something, I'm not doing it quite right, but that's like, oh, it's Pusha T. Yuck.
That is definitely yeah. Well, Pusha T's kind of also like he's like the influence of like a big sound of hip hop. Like a lot of people have kind of pulled from him.
Yeah, and I don't think it seems like he hasn't quite got his due.
No.
Like he is one of those guys behind the guy.
Didn't he do a Kanye record? I can't remember. When Kanye was doing like all of those records?
Well, Kanye's produced some of his stuff.
That's what it
and
is,
He's the
yeah.
president of Good Music.
Oh, okay.
And so they've definitely collaborated. There's a weird, cool song called Lunch Money that Kanye produced.
Munch Munch?
Lunch Money.
Oh, okay, Lunch
Like-
Money.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was
I
fucking
heard you
hungry.
say Munch Munch.
Wow.
Rick, we're pulling up to James's place, man.
Okay, James, man, that was great. I wish we could talk more.
I
I
know.
always get into this. At the end, I have a hard time saying goodbyes because I always want to know more, and I feel like when we finally get into the groove, I wanted to get your take on chemtrails, but we can leave that for another day.
I would have to educate myself on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's meet up sometime.
Yeah, maybe we
Yeah,
could do
definitely.
a Thirsty Thursday or something like that.
Come
Oh,
on
I
down to
love that,
Thirsty
yeah.
Thursday.
But
So how's this work? Do you
I-
close out the podcast now, Rick?
I close it out, and yeah, we'll make it really easy. I'm excited to let our audience, aware of your band, and we get to show some of these clips, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm excited to hear about your new ventures into this new thing that you got drumming up. I think that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
That,
That's really good
yeah,
to
man.
hear. And thank you, Rick
Yeah,
and Chris,
no,
for
it's-
having us.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Yeah,
Coupon.
thank
You're a
you
good
so
dog.
much. Yeah, and thank you, Coupon, for being so quiet. He's such a good dog. It's a he, right?
Yeah, he's a good little guy.
Yeah. Nice. Isn't it weird that we just assume that all dogs are he's and all cats are she's? But, it's 2020. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You gotta,
can't do that,
You gotta
man.
ask consent. Anyway,
Okay.
thank you guys so much. I'll close it out, and it was great having you on, James. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, Rick. Close
All
it
right,
out.
guys. All right. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Later.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was a great podcast. That was a lot of fun. It was. I was really getting into it, towards the end there, and then of course we gotta cut it. This has been a long one, but James is a really interesting guy. I love music. I don't know anything about it in terms of like how to start a band or how to write a song. So I'm always fascinated by musicians and how they're able to keep that muscle flexed and continue down that path. It's got to be tough out there, but I imagine it's similar to filmmaking and acting and all the other creative arts. And Yeah, love ska, big fan. I'm excited to see what James is going to do next, and really cool that he works for Playboy, although I haven't read a Playboy mag in a while now. I got to check him out now because our boy James is executive editor over there. Well, this was a great podcast. I'm looking forward to the next one and the next one after that. This little thing called life, it never ends. Well, I guess it does end, but it always goes on. I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm trying to be profound, and I'm coming off like a dumbass. Anyway, chemtrails are real. Look up in the sky, and have a great Monday, everybody. And thanks so much for tuning in to Bumper to Bumper. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play, and we are on the lovely YouTube. So I wish you all well, and thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.